This is a continuation of an adversary hearing involving the Robertson child. Ms. Grant is with us representing the father, Mr. Robertson, who I show still incarcerated in TDCJ.
That's correct, Your Honor. He is present by telephone with me today for this adversary.
Okay, you've got him on a phone line in your office, because I don't have a phone line in my waiting room.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Robertson, could you speak to make sure the judge could hear you?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Ms. Graff is with us representing the mother, Ms. Jones, and she is with us.
And Judge, before we would get started and put Ms. Perez back on, I just asked that we touch base with the parents. At the last hearing, it was my understanding that the mother was in agreement with services, with TMC remaining and that the issue for today was going to be placement. Based on my conversations with my client, I believe that the father is also likely in agreement with working the services and the TMC to the department, but also wanted to discuss placement. I just wanted to touch base and see if that's where we're at. Then I don't know that we need to go too in-depth as far as the case information, and I can just ask Ms. Perez or Ms. Smith more about placement.
Let me just ask one at a time. Ms. Graff, is your client in agreement to work services, and we're only going to discuss placement today?
Yes, Your Honor. She has actually already started services, so yes.
All right, thank you. Ms. Grant, is your client in agreement to work services, and we're only going to discuss placement today?
Yes, sir, he is, and that's correct.
Okay. All right, then. Ms. Wiggins, are you in agreement as far as what's been announced?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. All right, then we will proceed with the adversary hearing, limiting any testimony and argument as to placement only. So, all right, Ms. Wildman, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. And Ms. Perez, you had begun testifying at the last hearing. Can you tell us where the child's currently placed?
Let me swear in again, since we've slept since then. Let me find her. I've got so many faces on the screen. Ms. Perez, if you'd raise your right hand, you swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right, you may proceed, Ms. Wildman.
And Ms. Perez, where is Layton currently placed?
She's in a kinship placement with Amanda Robertson.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
She's in a kinship placement with Amanda Robertson.
Okay.
And what's the relationship between Layton and Miss Robertson?
That is Layton's stepmother.
Okay. And is she married to Mr. Robertson currently, or was she previously married to him?
If I'm not mistaken, as she was previously married to him.
Okay. Does Layton also have a sibling in that home?
Yes, she does.
And when was that I guess when was Layton placed with Miss Robertson?
On August the 15th.
Is that the same day as the removal?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know, did Layton have a previous relationship with Miss Robertson?
She did.
And what kind of relationship did she have?
I guess just typical, her brother is residing in that home, so she would visit her, see her, and have interactions with her and her brother there.
Okay. Just from talking with, I guess, the parents, I mean, do you know how recently Layton was with Miss Robertson, I guess the last visit prior to the removal?
Amanda had stated that she had not had much interaction with her due to conflict with them, but previously, before the conflict they had, she was in, I guess, engaging in the parent custody agreement that was placed in, where she was executing those visitation rights on behalf of John, the father. All
right, and so is it fair to say Miss Robertson wasn't a complete stranger to Layton?
Absolutely.
How did Layton react or behave when she was dropped off with Miss Robertson after the removal?
She ran up to Amanda and her brother, very happy, laughing, very excited, and jumped into Amanda's arms.
Okay, so she seemed, at least at that point, comfortable being there?
Yes.
Okay. Has Miss Vales Jones brought up any concerns that she had about that placement?
Not to me.
Okay. At this point, does the department have any concerns about that placement?
I do not.
Now, did you do an initial home study, or does the department do that as part of the placement?
Yes.
Has that home study come back?
We submitted it. We just did the preliminary kinship assessment that was approved.
Okay, so it was approved and there were no concerns in that assessment.
Correct.
Is there anything specific to the placement that the department thinks that they can, I guess, inform the court of at this point?
None that I have aware.
Have you talked to Mr. Robertson about his opinion of that placement?
I did talk with him, and when I notified him of the removal, and he was happy that Layton was placed there.
When at the removal, did you talk to Ms. Vales Jones about any possible placement options that she might have had?
Yes, she did provide one placement option.
And did she give the information, and was that a possibility for placement?
We got her information and we interviewed that person. She was willing to do that, but also felt very uncomfortable due to the fact that she also has Christiana's older daughter.
Okay. And so I guess at that point, did she decline to take placement at that point?
Correct.
Okay. I'll pass the witness, Judge.
All right, Ms. Graff. Ms. Graff.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you, Your Honor. I was just trying to reach from my notes. Ms. Perez, when you observed the child at the daycare in July, did they have any concerns about her well-being?
In July, no, they did not.
Okay. Do you know if the child was in my client's care when the contusion on her forehead occurred?
No.
Do you know who was taking care of the child when the injury occurred?
Objection, Your Honor, outside the scope of the agreed hearing.
Thing.
I'll just move on, Your Honor. Isn't it true that you were told a different version of how the injury occurred when you talked to Ms. Vales Jones?
Same objection.
Yes, Ms. Graff, we're only talking about placement now, not about how we led to the department becoming temporary managing conservator.
Okay. Ms. Perez, why was the child placed with the father's girlfriend?
It was the best option for kinship, as Layton had a relationship with Amanda.
And Judge, I want to object to mischaracterization of who she is. I believe we clarified that she is the ex-wife that has a kid with him. So,
Sustain.
Your Honor, it's my understanding that they have an ongoing relationship, that they're still communicating, they're still involved with each other. They're not married to each other, and that's the reason I characterized her as a girlfriend at this point.
All right. Well,
just because
excuse me.
Excuse
me. Let's just call her by her name, and let's not call her ex-stepmom, girlfriend, or whatever. We know who we're talking about, so let's just let's go to the issue.
Sure. Thank you. Are you aware that Ms. Robertson took the child to the prison to visit Mr. Robertson without prior notice or agreement from my client?
Objection as to time of the visit.
Overruled. I want to hear about this because I think everybody knows this court does not allow children to go to prison to see parents. You can answer.
Unaware.
Are you aware that that visit was supposed to be with the maternal or the paternal grandmother when the child was taken to the prison?
I was not aware.
If you knew that this was done without the mother's agreement, would you have placed the child with Ms. Robertson?
Can you repeat the question?
If you knew that Ms. Robertson had taken the child to the prison to visit the father without the mother's agreement or knowledge, would you have placed the child with Ms. Robertson?
Your Honor, may I ask a clarifying question as far as this line of questioning? Ms. Robertson was exercising visitation with Layton prior to the department removing the child. So I'm trying to determine if this occurred during the department's temporary custody or before.
Ms. Graff, the question you're asking, would it be after the child was placed with Ms. Robertson out of this case?
What I understand is this happened before the child was placed with Ms. Robertson because of this case.
Okay, all right. I'll go ahead and allow the question. We put it into perspective. It was before the department was named temporary managing conservator. So
Thank you,
having
Judge.
Correct.
been said, Ms. Perez, you can answer the question. Were you aware, or would you have placed had you known that she had let the child go to prison to see dad?
Yes, if it was prior before the removal.
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Graff.
That is all the questions I have, Your Honor.
Okay.
I'll rest as far as this witness.
Ms. Grant?
Ma'am, have you made it clear to Amanda that no visitation can be done with Layton without your prior approval?
Yes, it was discussed during the kinship assessment.
To your knowledge, has she followed all of the rules since you placed the child in her care?
To my understanding, yes.
Thank you. Pass the witness, Judge.
All right, Ms. Wiggins?
I have no questions. Well, actually, what city is the child placed in?
In Abernathy.
Okay, anyone have further questions for Ms. Perez? All right, then, Ms.
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Ms. Wildman, any other witnesses?
Your Honor, I would call, let me ask my client, V and Katie, who would be better to call to just ask a little bit more about placement since the child's been there?
That's going to be Katie.
All right. I'll call Katie Smith, Judge.
All right, Ms. Smith, if you'd raise your right hand, you swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Wildman?
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Smith, have you had the opportunity to visit Layton in her placement?
Yes, I have.
And is the home appropriate for a child of her age?
Yes.
Have you observed her with Miss Robertson?
Yes.
I mean, how would you classify their interactions?
Appropriate.
When you met with Layton in her placement, did she seem fearful in any way?
No.
Did she seem like she was comfortable in that placement?
Yes.
And I mean, do you know about how old her brother is?
I believe 10.
And how do they get along?
There was minimal interaction between the two.
Okay. And as far as the placement, does St. Francis have any concerns about Miss Robertson?
Not at this time.
Have you discussed with Miss Robertson the concerns about her having allowed the child to visit the father in the prison in the past?
Not in the past, just that it's not allowed to moving forward.
Okay, so that's been addressed with her that can't happen regardless of what orders may have existed previously, correct?
Correct.
Did she seem to have any issue with that?
She did not.
And as far as the St. Francis's recommendation, would it be their recommendation or their request that placement be continued?
Yes.
I'm trying to think. I'll pass the witness, Judge.
All right, Ms. Graff?
Your Honor, I have no questions for this witness.
Ms. Wiggins, did you have questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, anybody else have any further questions for Ms. Smith?
Just one, Judge.
Okay.
Ms. Smith, did you explain to Mr. Robertson the method or address for where he can send cards, letters, or notes to his child?
I have not spoke with Mr. Robertson myself. That
Okay.
might have been B.
Okay, who would he send those to if he were going to send a letter or card to the
The St.
department?
Francis Ministries.
And which person should he address it to? You or V, or does it matter?
It does not matter.
Okay, pass the witness, Judge.
All right, anyone else questions for Ms. Smith?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then, Ms. Wildman, any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor, not from the department.
Okay, all right, Ms. Graff, any witnesses?
Yes, I would like to call my client, Christiana Vales Jones.
Okay, Ms. Jones, if you'd unmute, please. Thank you, ma'am. If you'd raise your right hand, you swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right, Ms. Graff.
Your Honor, I'd just like to say just something to my client directly. Christy, even though we discussed some other questions we were going to ask because of the judge's ruling this morning, we're only going to focus on the placement. If you can focus on those questions and the answers that need to be provided. So Ms. Vales Jones, who is Amanda Robertson as far as you perceive her to be?
John's wife, or whatever you want to call her, partner.
What has been your relationship with her?
The last time they saw Layton on June 20th, the weekend of June 20th, and that's when she had reported me to CPS. Prior to that, we had not seen her in over a year.
Was there a parenting plan ordered by a court between you and Mr. Robertson?
Yes, when he gets home from prison, he has to have supervised visitation. And I chose Amanda and his mother as the supervisors for those visits. And he gets to see her the first and third Saturday of the month, I believe, from like 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's the only reason. There is no parenting agreement or custodial agreement at all. Prior to all this, John's been in prison he's sentenced to 25 years. I'm the victim of one of his cases. He cannot have my physical address or anything like that. That's why it was set up that way. So when
Is he
gets home from prison, that's when
allowed
the
under that?
Y'all are talking over each other.
Sorry. Just finish what you were going to say, Ms. Vales Jones.
So
Your
prior to
Honor,
that, I don't understand this custody.
Your Honor,
agreement.
I'd like to object. And we could just, if there is a parenting plan that could be produced that would be relevant, that would be great. But I've not seen a parenting plan. Anything from the parenting plan is hearsay unless a certified copy is produced for my review prior to this hearing.
Overruled. If she's part of the creation of it and she's signed it, then she can testify to what's contained in it.
Thank you, Judge.
Ms. Vales Jones, I think you were starting to say something. Could you finish if you remember what you were going to say?
I have my court order from the Attorney General's and the meeting we had with the Attorney General about the visitation plan. I can forward it to you if you like. It's all in black and white. So he can't know my address. So there has to be supervised visits to Amanda and his mother the first and third Saturday of the month. There was no prior parenting or custodial agreement before that. I'm the primary because he has harassed me with in the past with papers. Sorry.
You've answered the question, but let me clarify. According to that plan, when he gets out, his visits have to be supervised by Amanda Robertson?
Yes, or his mother.
Or his mother. Okay, that's all I needed. Thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Graff.
And just to clarify, Ms. Vales Jones, that plan does not provide any visits for him while he's still incarcerated, correct?
No, ma'am. Just as the child support he put himself on does not start until after he gets home from prison.
So Ms. Vales Jones, when you decided to allow visits with Mr. Robertson's mother, was that part of that court-ordered parenting plan?
No, I was just being nice. They had not seen Layton in over a year, but they decided to hit me up again. And I can show text messages as proof if they wanted to see her, and I was trying to be nice and let her see them. And then she reported me instead. She tried to keep her from me. It was a whole ordeal.
That's fine. That's fine. So let me ask you again. So when this occurred, that the child was taken to the prison to see the father, did you know that was going to happen before that occurred? Did you know?
Not at that point.
When did you find out?
Later after the fact. I think I had let her go with them to see him in the past, like over a year ago. But then since then, there's been a lot of course, different things come up where he put himself on child support. I had to take a DNA, all sorts of stuff like that he's done. He's reported me from letters from prison to CPS numerous times. This is an ongoing progression between him and his family.
What do you think has he explained, has he said to you what he's trying to accomplish by doing
I
that?
have no contact with him. I don't want contact with him. Amanda has tried to call me in the past with him on three-way, like sneakily try to get me to talk to him. I don't want anything to do with him. Hey, I consider him my sperm donor.
Do you trust Ms. Robertson?
Not really, not anymore, not since she's abused her. She's an officer of the court situation, or she literally reported me to CPS on June 20th. And then next thing you know, my daughter had an injury in her head. When we took her to daycare, we didn't hide anything. And CPS gave her to the person who reported me.
What, you said that she's an officer of the court. Could you tell us what that
Oh.
means? What you
She works
understand that to mean?
Excuse me.
She's 11 probation.
Excuse me, Ms. Jones. I don't need to hear a definition of officer of the court because that's not what she is.
No,
So let's just move on.
no, Your Honor, what I'm trying to elicit, she was told that Ms. Robertson was an officer of the court, and I'm asking my client, what is she actually? What is her actual employment?
She's 11 probation officer, and she's thrown that in my face numerous times.
You're going to have to.
Thank you. That's
Ms. Jones, if you talk slower, I can't make it out what you're saying.
Sorry.
I imagine the court reporter's having trouble too. So
I apologize. I have ADHD and I'm a little excited and I have anxious. She's an officer of the court, as in she's a 11th probation officer. She's thrown that in my face numerous times that she's an officer of the court.
okay, thank you.
Do you think that she will continue to take your daughter to the prison based on your past experience with her?
Objection
Yes.
calls for speculation.
The thing.
Do you think she's an appropriate placement for your daughter?
I don't think she should be placed anywhere, but I mean, I have no family, so I guess it's the best I can do, I guess, at the moment, because I have no family. My parents are dead, my grandparents are dead. It's just me.
Are you asking the court today to allow you to be the placement while you're working services?
Yes. The injury did not happen in my
Do you
home. Sorry.
Do you think you're the safest person to take care of your daughter at this time?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And are you willing to do the services no matter what the court orders today?
Yes, ma'am, I'm willing. I want my daughter to come home. This case is crazy to me. I'm sorry.
Your Honor, I have no further questions.
All right, Ms. Wildman, questions?
Yes, Judge. Ms. Vales Jones, you said the injury didn't happen while your daughter was in your home, but there were 2 incidents where your child went to daycare with injuries, correct?
No, ma'am.
Well, there was an injury the day of removal, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So that couldn't have happened back in June, the last time you're saying she was with Miss Robertson, right?
Okay, we're
Yes,
outside of the scope of placement.
Well, Judge, I think it's relevant in the sense of mom being appropriate for placement.
Well, you know, we've limited the placement. I'm not going to let you go beyond that and not let anyone else. So let's just talk about placement, not about how we got to TMC.
Okay, well, Ms. Vales Jones, you understand that if she's removed from Miss Roberson's care at this point, the only other option is foster care, correct?
Can I ask a question myself? Why
No, ma'am.
can't?
No, ma'am. You can't ask questions. You're answering questions right now.
That would be the only other option would be foster care. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
So, I mean, would you prefer she stay with Miss Roberson, or would you prefer she go to foster care?
I guess I have no choice in the matter, correct?
Miss Roberson, if you just answer the question, if you would prefer her stay where she is, or that she be a new placement be looked for with a stranger.
I'm not Miss Roberson, but
I apologize, Miss Vale Jones.
I mean, I said like I have no choice in the matter, do I? And what's best for Layton is I guess you stay there, apparently.
I have no further questions, Judge.
All right, Ms. Grant.
I have no questions, Judge. It sounds like we're possibly agreed on this, depending on the court's ruling.
Ms. Wiggins.
I have no questions.
All right. All right. Ms. Graff, did you have any other witnesses?
Whoops, I do not, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Grant, any witnesses?
No witnesses, Your Honor. My client would just ask permission to send cards and letters to the child, that the child stay with Miss Robertson for the time being, and that the child not be moved until further order of the court.
All right, Ms. Wiggins, any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right. All right, then, Ms. Wiggins, recommendations?
Thank you, Judge. I do agree with the TMC to the department, and I believe that the placement is appropriate at this time. We believe that she's taking care of all her needs at this time.
All right, thank you. All right, then I will first of all approve the agreement that the parties had reached, that the department will continue as temporary managing conservator. I will order that Layton's current placement be continued. I will order that Layton not be taken to prison to see Mr. Robertson under any circumstances.
Oh,
And
Judge, I'm terribly sorry to interrupt. There was an issue brought to my attention before of Miss Vales Jones' boyfriend being in a visitation, and I do not believe that's in the child's best interest to have the boyfriend in the visitation since he was part of the removal.
Okay, let me finish my ruling, please.
Okay, sorry.
I'll order further that the child not be moved from her current placement without a prior court order. And this court always thinks visitation should be between the parents, and especially considering since he might have been involved. What's the boyfriend's name?
Joshua Sims, Judge.
Okay, yeah, I had that in my report.
Additionally, Judge, if Miss Vales Jones has not provided a baseline drug screen yet, the department would ask that that be ordered today.
All right, Ms. Jones, I'm going to ask you one more. Don't interrupt. The court reporter cannot take people talking over each other, and you're continuing to interrupt when someone's trying to ask a question. Now, I'm not going to warn you one more time. All right, Ms. Wildman, you were saying?
The department would ask that Ms. Vales Jones be ordered to give hair follicle and UA drug screen today if she has not previously done so. I can ask Ms. Smith if that's happened, and if not, we would ask that be ordered by 4 p.m. today, just so we can get a baseline moving forward with the services.
All right, well, we can ask Ms. Robertson as long as she's not Ms. Jones, we can ask her. She knows if she drug tested or not. I just don't want her interrupting when somebody's trying to ask a question. Ms. Jones, have you provided any drug tests since this case started?
I volunteered the other day and I called V and I asked if I can go take it because I didn't know it was still active. Confirmed the CPS order and asking me to give one.
I'm asking you, did you give one?
No, I haven't given one yet. I asked if I can give one the other day.
All right, that's all I needed to hear. Give me just a minute. Ms. Jones, do you have transportation?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, I'm not sure where I got to. I'm going to back up. Placement will be continued. I'll order that the child not be removed from current placement without a prior court order. I'll order that Joshua Sims not attend any visitation with the child. And I will order that Ms. Jones, both hair strand and UA drug screen by 4 p.m. today. All right, our next hearing will be the status hearing. That will be on October 6th, 2025. It will be by Zoom like today's hearings, so parties can ask their lawyers or anyone can go on the court's online docket a day or two before October 6th to see exactly what time we'll have that hearing. Okay, we'll be in recess on this case. I'll be back at 11:15 to call a compliance hearing following an order to participate involve another Randall County case involving the Miles, Suarez, Johnson, Long, and Taylor children. So in recess till 11:15. Y'all have a good week.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge. You too.
Thank you, Your Honor.